Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's DinaKalmeta here. And for today's news, we're going to talk about some catastrophic events that have occurred all over the world. And I'd like to take you to this first report from the Daily Mail. More than 1,400 people have perished in Afghanistan's deadliest earthquake in years, with thousands more injured and many still buried under collapsed homes as rescuers battle to reach remote mountain villages. The Afghan Red Crescent Society said on Tuesday that at least 1,124 people are confirmed that have died and 3,251 have been hurt, with more than 8,000 homes destroyed. The aid group warned that toll will rise as teams pull bodies from the rubble. The UN said on Tuesday that the disaster could impact hundreds of thousands. We think potentially the impacted individuals would go up to almost into the hundreds of thousands. The numbers are definitely going to increase. They said that there's no question that the casualty rate is going to be rather exponential. The 6.0 quake struck just after midnight on Monday at a depth of 6 miles, shaking the eastern provinces where it was hit hardest. Narrow mountain roads and landslides have slowed rescuers, while bad weather has made conditions worse. The World Health Organization said over 12,000 people have been affected. So thoughts and prayers go out to all of those in Afghanistan. On Wednesday, August 27th, a 6.0 aftershock had hit near the coast of Kamchatka, Russia. August 25th, a 6.1 earthquake hits east of the Kuril Islands. August 23rd, a 6.0 earthquake hit off the coast of Guatemala and El Salvador. And on August 22nd, a 7.5 earthquake hits southern Drake Passage. A 5.8 on August 18th hit central Sulawesi and taken the life of 1, injuring 41. A church collapsed and a minor tsunami was reported. So no denying that we are seeing more earthquakes, and they're getting larger and larger, and they're coming closer together. Jesus told us in the books of Matthew, Mark, and Luke that there would be earthquakes in diverse places, and that is exactly what we are seeing. Michael Schneider had noticed that at one point this summer, we witnessed a total of 494 earthquakes of at least a 5.0 within a 30-day period. That was about 4 times as many 5.0 earthquakes as we normally see during a 30-day period. Unfortunately, our planet continues to shake in wild and unpredictable ways. The earthquake swarm that just occurred at Campi Frego supervolcano was also alarming. A swarm of 94 earthquakes at one of the largest supervolcanoes on the entire planet is very important news. And there have been frequent earthquake swarms at the volcano this year, and experts are concerned that all of this activity could be leading up to something really big. A full-blown eruption could cause a worldwide volcanic winter. In such scenarios, crops would be unable to grow in many areas of the planet, and we could be facing mass extinctions. Here in the United States, an alarming swarm of earthquakes continue to shake the state of Nevada. The United States Geological Survey reported over a dozen earthquakes on Friday around Hot Lake and Willow Creek, approximately 38 miles north of Battle Mountain. The most significant earthquake, which occurred around 12:59 p.m. on Saturday, measured a 4.8 at a depth of 5 miles. We are being told that the ground is at a risk of splitting apart in that particular area of the state. And that doesn't sound good at all. Overall, there has been 779 earthquakes in California and Nevada during the past 7 days. And what is happening to the bees? Beekeepers in Texas and across the United States reported unprecedented losses of managed honeybee colonies during the 2024 and 2025 season, with more than 60% of colonies in Texas lost between April 2024 and April 2025. Nationwide, the annual loss rate reached 55.6%, the highest recorded since formal tracking began in 2010. But of course, it's not just the bees that are dying in staggering numbers. All sorts of other insects are steadily dying off as well. And if you can believe it, the bird population of North America has declined by nearly 3 billion since 1970. Hosea chapter 4 verses 1 through 3 says, "Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord has a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. Because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood toucheth blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish. With the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven, yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. So God tells us that in the last days, because of the sin of the land, He's going to take the animals away and they will perish. And that is exactly what we are seeing. Now, what's happening with volcanic eruptions? On September 1st, we had an earthquake swarm with 90 events detected at Tedo volcano in the Canary Islands. An explosive eruption at Santa Maria volcano in Guatemala occurred on August 29th. We had another ash plume in Japan on August 28th. We had alert level raised as unrest increases in Alaska. That happened on August 27th. August 26th, we had effusive vents and explosive activity persist at Mount Etna's southeast crater in Italy. The Sangay volcano in Ecuador erupted at 20,000 feet. The Reventador volcano in Ecuador erupted to 15,000 feet. The Semeru volcano in Indonesia erupted to 15,000 feet. Merapi volcano in Indonesia erupted to 12,000 feet. So in the last 6 months, we have seen a lot of volcanic activity. And we're told in the books of Joel and Acts that God will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and billows of smoke, or pillars of smoke. The sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the coming of the great and glorious day of the Lord. So pillars of smoke, blood and fire could definitely refer to volcanoes or even wildfires. We've also seen large landslides. In fact, the Watchers is reporting that a large landslide had severed the E6 highway and railway near Norway. The landslide hospitalized one person and left another missing and possibly perishing. It destroyed both lanes of the highway and a segment of the railway line. So definitely a very serious situation. The Daily Mail has reported that a landslide that has wiped out a village in Sudan's western region of Darfur has taken the lives of 1,000 people in one of the deadliest disasters in African country's recent history. The tragedy happened on Sunday in the village of Tarasin in central Darfur's mountains after days of heavy rainfall in late August. Initial information indicates the lives of the village residents, estimated to be more than 1,000 people, and only one person survived. The village was completely leveled to the ground. So definitely a very sad situation, a tragedy. 1,000 people gone in this landslide. On August 27th, a massive rockfall has occurred in India. On August 27th, again, at least 30 perished as landslide strikes the Vanushu Devi route during extreme rainfall in Jammu, India. On August 22nd, a landslide in Manesh leaves at least 15 perishing in Guinea. On August 20th, the Caldera Cliff collapses in Santorini, Greece. On August 11th, a large landslide triggers localized tsunami in Tracy Arm, Alaska, and it goes on and on. So what are we seeing with these landslides, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions? Well, we're told in Romans chapter 8, verse 22, "For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in power together until now." The earth is literally groaning for Christ's return. So in the last days, we're going to see more earthquakes in diverse places, or earthquakes, period. We're going to see more volcanic eruptions and activity, and of course landslides and even sinkholes, because the earth is groaning again in anticipation of Christ's return. So with that said, what is happening in the heavens? Well, asteroid 2025 Q07 was to fly past Earth at 0.7 LD on August 31st. And what is happening with the interstellar object that's been zooming through our solar system? Well, the Daily Mail is reporting that scientists have issued a chilling update on the object, stating that the enormous comet was picked up by a NASA telescope on July 1st as it rushed towards the sun at 137 miles per hour, which I reported on. Well, now a study has revealed that the massive object could be spotted up to 2 months earlier. Using NASA's Transitioning Exoplanet Survey satellite, researchers have discovered new images of the comet, which date back to May 7th. This early data also reveals some very strange behavior. While TESS watched the object between May 7th and June 3rd, it suddenly became 5 times brighter. Scientists expect the brightness to increase even as it approaches Earth, but the distance traveled in this period could only explain a 1.5 times brightness increase. The object's abnormal intense brightness has also sparked speculation that it could be an alien craft rather than a comet. While hundreds of telescopes and satellites constantly watching the sky, objects like comets or asteroids often appear in data long before scientists notice their presence. So when something important is discovered, scientists will scour old telescope data to see if it appeared in earlier images in a process called pre-covery. This is important because it gives scientists even more data to refine their predictions about objects that might only be visible for a short time. Dr. Mark Norris, an observatory astronomer from the University of Lancaster, was not involved in the study, but he said that whenever astronomers find something that varies with time, we try to find earlier observations that we can track how it has changed over a longer period of time. For something like a body moving through the solar system, this lets us more accurately work out its orbit. For something that varies in brightness, we can often find it whether it has shown evidence of variation on longer timescales. Well, after being discovered by the Atlas Asteroid Warning System on July 1st, astronomers found that 30I Atlas had been seen by the Vera Rubin Observatory in Chile 10 days earlier. This sent scientists scrambling to find even earlier images of the mysterious object in the historical data from other telescopes. It goes on further to report that researchers found that the comet became around 5 times brighter in under a month, far more than would have been expected from a normal comet. Professor Michael Garrett, an astronomer from the University of Manchester, who was not involved in the study, told the Daily Mail that the observed brightening cannot be explained by geometry alone. If a comet is not symmetrical, then as the comet rotates, we see different parts of the surface. The bigger the comet looks, the brighter it will be. But a factor of 6 seems to be too big to be explained by geometry, so it must be due to activity on the comet. Professor Avi Loeb of Harvard University has argued that the object might be producing its own light through mechanical means. In other words, a spaceship or UFO. So very interesting. So they would have seen it much sooner because it has shown up on past reports. But the fact that it's getting brighter and brighter and bigger is kind of interesting and a little startling. What exactly is this object? We're told in the books of Revelation, we're told by Jesus himself, we're told in the book of Acts, we're told in the book of Luke that there will be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars. Stars would fall from heaven and cause catastrophic damage. So we are going to see activity like this. It's going to be much more pronounced during the tribulation period in the book of Revelation, but definitely signs in the heavens. But what is happening with solar activity? A long-duration M2.7 solar flare was launched at Earth, directed a CME. His impact was expected on late September 1st. August 6, a CME modeling suggests glancing blow to Earth from a 4.4 flare produced by AR 4168. A partial halo CME expected to impact Earth. On July 8th, we saw a 2.4 solar flare erupted from the northeast limb. Impulsive X 1.9 solar flare elected from region 4114 on June 20th. June 17th, impulsive X.12 solar flare erupted from the geoeffective active region of 4114. June 15th, a strong M8.4 solar flare erupted from AR 4114, CME produced. A long-duration M8.1 solar flare produces strong Earth-directed CME impact expected on June 1st, and that occurred on May 31st, and it goes on and on. So we are definitely seeing a lot of solar activity in recent months, which goes to show that Jesus said we would see signs in the sun, moon, and stars. So let's talk about the moon. As I reported in prior reports, a total lunar eclipse will take place on September 7th and 8th, creating a spectacular blood moon effect. A total lunar eclipse occurs when Earth passes between the moon and the sun, casting its shadow over our natural satellite. The tilted orbit of Earth's moon prevents us from experiencing a total lunar eclipse every month during the new moon phase. However, about 3 times every year, orbitable mechanics conspire to bring the Earth, moon, and sun into perfect alignment, setting the stage for breathtaking lunar spectacle. spectacle. So Jesus has also told us that we would see blood moons, and we've been seeing this throughout history. But another sign in the sun, moon, and stars leading to Christ's return. So what else has been happening around the world? Well, we have seen severe flooding in northwestern India and a province in eastern Pakistan. It has taken the lives of 24 people, inundated 1,000 villages, and damages 60,000 acres of farmland. This occurred on August 30th. On August 28th, flash floods struck Arkansas, with over a dozen crashes reported on the I-49. Severe hailstorms caused widespread crop and livestock losses in southeastern Alberta, Canada, that occurred on August 20th. On August 27th, flash floods wash out Highway 86, close over a dozen roads in Imperial County, California. So the year the flood continues. A strong blizzard brings unusually heavy snow to New South Wales and Victoria, Australia. August 26th, at least 3 people perished and 10 injured after a typhoon made landfall, triggering widespread flooding and infrastructure damage across north-central Vietnam. Monsoon rains have caused over 360 perishing in India since June 20th, including 155 rain-related and 148 road accident fatalities, according to the State Disaster Management Authority. India is getting hit really hard, you guys. In the meantime, snowfall was recorded in Poland's high Tatras mountain on August 24th for the first time in August since 2010. The event was driven by an Arctic air mass that moved across Poland over that weekend. And of course, we cannot forget what happened in Phoenix, Arizona. A massive dust storm swept through Metro Phoenix, Arizona on August 25th, reducing visibility to near zero and grounding flights at Sky Harbor International Airport. Power outages peaked at more than 54,000 customers, with more than 15,000 that were still without electricity by the end of that day. In addition, the Burning Man, which usually sees thousands of people every year, were telling people last week, do not come, because there were 50-mile-per-hour dust storms, high winds, that left the orgy camp destroyed, and tents as well, because there were a lot of people that, of course, go there every year and camp. So very interesting that that particular camp was destroyed. So we are definitely seeing a lot more catastrophic events all over the world. And I just wanted to bring you guys a quick update for today in regards to these events, because I haven't reported on it in quite some time. I'd love to hear what you guys think, so please do leave your comments below this video. Also, come and visit me when you have some time on our social media pages, as well as our website at www.cww7news.com. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, God bless and stay safe.